Other people's crossing is full of wells, beautiful women embrace, even if not, can also be checked draw test the gold to pretend to force, so as to go to a new peak of life. However, my crossing has become a prisoner. What the hell is this? Give me back my big man's script. The things he crossed over were not only predestined friends. Yao Wu said that this kind of voice, with a high risk coefficient, and the capital he was in was very deep, and it was easy to lose his life if he was careless. But who let me be the protagonist? Luck is super good, every bad luck, every day to pick up money, stroll Gulen, life without sorrow. But this is only the surface of Xu Qian. Even he doesn't know it secretly. He is just at the beginning of a bullying story in the hands of an old silver coin. Xu Xian, and is still dreaming. But all of a sudden, a pungent smell went straight to his forehead, and he thought it must be the big smart guy in the family who ran to the room to shit again. When he opened his eyes, a huge ass was facing his face. Xia, and subconsciously started to push him away. Only the next moment the dog disappeared, but there was something more in his hands. He is now in the brain of Jing's house, but he clearly remembers that he was not celebrating his upgrade with the mob in the bar yesterday. But sudden, lion steaming pain came through the ants. Brain seemed to explode, a memory that did not belong to him, constantly integrated into his mind. Zuxin self-bright, his father died 19 years ago in the Battle of Mountains and Seas, and his mother died of illness. He was raised by his second uncle from an early age. He practiced as the martial arts all the year round, and reached the peak of alchemy at the age of 18. Since then, he has stagnated. Relying on his second uncle's relationship, he has become a hunter Xu Qian of Changou County under the jurisdiction of Jingzhou government. Only then did I realize that I had crossed or was a catcher. I had crossed and had to go back to my old job as a policeman. As for why he is in prison now, it is because, 3 days ago, second uncle Xu Jiaping was a 7th grade green rope J knife. 3 days ago escorted a batch of tax silver to complement the way 1502 tax silver lost. The holy man flew into a rage and personally ordered Xu Jiaping to behead 3 men and women of the border after 5 days and sent them to the church. As Xu Jiaping's nephew, Xu Xian was dismissed from his post and sent to the prison of Jingzhou Prefecture. There were only 2 days left before he was sent to the frontier. Is this inappropriate start a hell pattern? The world is still in a state of feudal dynasties and has no human rights. What is a frontier? Hell is desolate and the climate is harsh. Most of the prisoners sent to the frontier will not live for 10 years, and more people have not reached the frontier. Just because of all kinds of accidents or diseases, Xu Qiaoning swallowed saliva and imagined that there would definite, be a chance. So he whispered, "System, Dad, come out quickly." After eating only cold wine, only Xu Qian, and was always like a fool, calling Dad there. There was no system at all. I have to find a way to save myself, I can't. Just dog belt on. As a result, he thought of the first way, escape from prison. He is a 5-application system to lose skin, that is, the peak of alchemy. Physical fitness is strong and scary. But in this world, belongs to the unyielding silver. Dan Weiss' plan to escape from prison was stillborn. The second way was to rely on clans and friends, but the Xu family was not a big clan, and the clans were scattered all over the country, and for a whole 1502 of Texas and silver background, who would dare to intercede on this bondage? It certainly wouldn't work, so there was only one way left. According to the law of the Great Bond, the branch is exempted from death by making amends. Cassette wants to finish, unless she finds the money, and now she is deep in her brain and has no detailed file data. The current situation is really useless. Only at this moment, when a person came in to watch with reading, this person just stopped in front of Xu Qian. The source is Xu Zining's resignation. The son of the old second uncle Xu Jiaping and his cousin Dafeng are actually studying in Yanglu College. He is the strongest king, who is good at spitting fragrance. He remembered that the relationship between the original owner and the cousin was not good, and the purpose of this visit was to tell Xu Qiu, and to escort him to the soldiers in the border area and collect 300 tales of Xu New Year. This is also the only silver left in their family, which can ensure that there will be no accidents on the way. The Xu New Year citizen has been removed, but with the protection of the mayor of the college, he does not need to be licensed. Xu Qian stared at Xu Zining with a light face. He knew that Xu Zining was not only separated from his fame, but also had to meet himself. His children and grandchildren were not allowed to take the imperial examination and never to turn over. Moreover, thus, rice rolls were sent to the church department 2 days later and were humiliated. Xu Zining was a scholar, how could he still have the face to live in this capital? Xu Xian directly created his purpose, do you want money? Xu Zining looked at his cousin in front of him in horror and guessed what he wanted to do with only a few words and movements. But he still stubbornly turned his head and coldly threw out a sentence to share with you. Then I posed, still a little hard to bear, after all, they are all family members, and then said with determination, you live well, then turned and left. Xu Xian grabbed him and was joking. It was not time to give up. He stared at Xu Zining and solemnly said the file to help me get the file of the tax and silver loss case.